Mr. Dinkar, Vijay Kumar. If you guys can hear me, please type in yes in the chat window for the confirmation, please. Thank you, Akhilesh. Thank you, Dinkar. First of all, I welcome you all for this SAP HANA SAP BW 7.4 with HANA 1.0 service package free online demo session. Okay, thank you very much for your time for attending this demo session. Let me start with my introduction first. My name is Ilyas. So I am I did master's degree in computer applications. I started my career as a Java developer in 1998. After working a couple of years in Java J2E technologies, I switched to SAP. In SAP as a ABAPer in SD, MM, FI modules. Later on, from 2002 onwards, I am working as a BW consultant. In BW, I started working with the 2.x versions, then 3.x versions, and 7.x versions. My current project with BW 7.4 with SAP HANA with SAP BOBA 4.1. I have total 12 plus years of experience in SAP BW as a senior level consultant, as a BW architect, solution architect, as a BW techno-functional consultant, as a BW subject matter expert. My experience in SAP BW, I'm basically a techno-functional consultant. Technical side ABAP, writing very complex routines in BW, enhancing business content objects, writing user exist, and developing the functional modules, development of baddies, user exist. And my functional side of SAP BW, designing the complete data flows for sales and distribution, material management, finance, controlling, and SAP CRM. When SAP acquired the business objects, from 2008 onwards, I'm working as a BW business objects consultant. So in business objects, I started working with XI R2 versions, then BOBA XI R3, 3.0, 3.1, SAP BOBA 4.0, 4.1. So my experience includes not only in SAP BOBA tools, SAP BODS, which is an EAM tool, as well as SAP BOPC, which is an EPM tool of SAP. My specialization in business objects, report development using different tools of SAP BOBA with SAP HANA as a source, with SAP BW as a source, as well as non-SAP source systems. I work with Web Intelligence, Crystal Reports, Dashboard Design, Business Object Explorer, Business Object Design Studio, Business Objects Analysis, and SAP Lumira. So I'm a certified SAP HANA consultant. I have total 3 years of experience in SAP HANA, various support packs of SAP HANA, starting from support pack 2, support pack 3, support pack 4, support pack 5, 6, and in my current project, recently my client upgraded to support pack 8. So these are my specialization in SAP HANA: data provisioning using business object data services, SLT, modeling, reporting. So in big data, I have total 3 years of experience in Hadoop also, especially extracting the data from Hadoop to SAP HANA using business object data services, then modeling the data for reporting purpose. So my functional exposure in finance and accounting, controlling, sales and distribution, material management, HR, CRM, again in CRM marketing, CRM sales, as well as CRM service. So I have been providing the training in various SAP modules, especially data warehousing related tools and modules since last 13 years in North America, in US and Canada, and I have given corporate training for very big 5 consulting companies like Deloitte, CGI in Canada, and so many very big companies, consulting companies in New York, New Jersey, in Chicago, Dallas, Houston. So in ABAP, I have total 9 years of teaching experience. BW in 2.x, 3.x, 7.0, 7.3, 7.4, 11 years. BW with CRM Analytics, 6 years. BW 7.3 with Service Pack 5 and BW 7.4 with SAP HANA, 3 years. So SAP BOBI, XIR2, XI 3.0, 3.1, BI 4.0, 4.1, 8 years, and SAP BOBI with SAP HANA, 3 years, and SAP HANA, 3 years. So these are my certifications. I'm a certified SAP BW consultant, HANA consultant, business objects consultant. So as of now, I'm leading a team with one of our direct client. So the project is BW 7.4 with SAP HANA as well as SAP BOBI. So we are developing finance reports and HR reports, marketing reports for a pharma client in New Jersey. So not only will provide the training, we'll do the placements as well after the training. So these are our clients. Recently we placed our students. So this is the brief introduction about myself, my friends. Now you guys can introduce yourself. Mr. Akhilesh?
Yeah.
Brief introduction about yourself.
Hi, Elias. It was nice meeting you. I have around 10 years of SAP BI experience. Pretty much, I've worked on most of the BW versions and Bob J. But I do currently I think the only thing which is missing in my kitty is HANA. So
okay.
That's the reason I'm attending this. I would like to know more about HANA, and I'm looking forward for the session.
Okay, thank you very much. Mr. Dinkar? Hello, sir. Yeah, you can type, if you don't have mic, or you can type a couple of sentences just to introduce yourself. Your experience, if you have any experience in SAP, any module of SAP. Mr. Srikanth? Mr. Srikanth, can you hear me, sir?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, I was on mute.
Yeah, go ahead, sir. Just give a brief introduction about yourself.
I'm a database developer since last 6 years.
Okay.
In Oracle and SQL Server mainly. Like I want to check with the HANA and Business Warehouse.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mr. Vijay Kumar. Can you hear me, Mr. Vijay Kumar?
Experience. Mostly I was in C++ for a long time. Then since almost 2004, I was in SAP, and actually I have managed one SAP implementation for a publishing company. I was mainly in SAP SD.
Okay.
I was developer as well as functional guy. Then I moved on to other technologies. My original technologies were C++ and Java.
Okay.
I moved on to cloud. And of late, I moved back to India for 3 years, and at that time I was managing SAP upgrades.
Okay.
I managed a couple of SAP upgrades, and now again I moved back to Java. So I just want to know how SAP HANA is and what it is. And as far as BW is concerned, you can say I have greater experience.
Thank you, Mr. Vijay Kumar. Well, before starting this session, so let me give a brief agenda. What is the agenda for this session? First, we'll start with course roadmap. Course roadmap in the sense, what are the topics we will be covering as a part of this course, and in which topic, how. Okay, so once I'm done with the course roadmap, you'll get an idea what we'll be learning this okay, what exactly, okay, the course content, okay, what all about, okay, the course all about, and what are the different topics we'll be learning as a part of this course. So that will give you an idea how far we are reaching your expectations. Then we'll move on to a brief product overview of BW 7.4 with SAP HANA. Okay. Then we'll focus on career prospects. What are the prerequisites for this course? Okay. Okay. Who are the target audience for this course? Then we'll move on to questionnaires. We'll spend significant amount of time, okay, in the questionnaires, in the discussions, basically. Before starting the course roadmap, because this is complete online training program, a virtual training. So how the complete training program is streamlined using Google Sites. Okay, we'll call that one as a training block. So once you enroll for the course, you will be given the blog access. This is nothing but the training block, where you can see this complete training block concept is the Google Site concept. So you need to have a Gmail account, okay, in order to provide this blog access. So in this blog access, so we have various tabs. In the home tab, the general information about the company, okay, what is the training process, what are the different stages in the training, what is our post-training program, okay. We will offer two types of training modes. One is live training, second one is video-based training. So what is video-based training, what is live training, the pricing, everything you can see here. Announcements. In the announcements tab, if you have any queries to the instructor, you can post any queries here. Well, once you post the query, everyone who are subscribed for this blog will be getting an email notification to your Gmail account. So within, okay, 8 hours of frame window period, the query will be answered as soon as possible. Okay, the maximum time is 8 hours. Course content. Here you can see what are the course content, what are the various topics we'll be covering as a part of this course. Then training material. The complete training material will be posted here. So whatever the training material you require for completion of the certification, to practice the assignments, case studies, to read, to explore from your side, okay. The material includes customized material, okay, different types of material. We are going to provide a repository of material where you will find a lot of information, including certification questions, interview questions, video recordings. In the video recordings, once the session is completed, every time whenever you guys are attending the session will be recorded. Once the session is done, the complete recording will be posted here. Yeah, I will come to your Dinkar, I will come to your question. So what are the prerequisites also I will explain. So you don't require any BW prerequisite. This is not a BW with SAP HANA Delta course where you require BW prerequisites, or you are supposed to be a BW consultant, or you trained in, okay, someone who trained in already in BW. No. So that is the prerequisite for BW with SAP HANA Delta course. This is not a Delta course. In this course, we'll learn everything from the scratch. So only the prerequisite for this course is basics of SQL, basics of RDBMS. If in order to learn any other data warehousing tools also, basic prerequisites are SQL, minimum knowledge in the SQL, as well as basic concepts of RDBMS. So all the recordings will be posted here. So you can view those recordings a number of times, okay, and for your reference. Then assignments and case studies. So in assignment case studies, as a part of this course, if you look at the course content, we have to work on so many case studies, so many assignments, end-to-end case studies. So we have to work on some of the implemented projects also. All the assignments for each session, okay, will be posted here along with the case studies, mini projects, main projects with proper explanation. Webinar links. Suppose tomorrow is a session 1. You can attend the session 1 free. Day after tomorrow, session 2. Corresponding link will be posted here. Just you log into the blog, click on this link, join the session. So like this, the complete training program is streamlined using the Google blog concept. This is Google site. Is nothing but a training blog. So you can post queries to the instructor. You can see the course content, okay, which content currently the instructor is covering, training material, video recordings, assignments and case studies for upcoming sessions, corresponding webinar links. Now we'll start with course roadmap. SAP Business Information Warehouse, SAP BW, is a MOLAP application. We'll see what is MOLAP application, OLTP applications. In SAP BW, we have an application layer, which is nothing but ABAP stack, and we require a database layer for this application. Yeah, I will answer all your questions, Mr. Srikanth. Give me 2 minutes. Okay. If you look at this BW system, this BW system is installed on a traditional database. So the database associated with this BW system is SQL, MS SQL Server. So when BW is running on traditional database, we can directly start learning BW. But from BW 7.3 with Service Pack 5 and with HANA 1.0, when SAP released HANA 1.0 Service Pack 3, we can use HANA as underlying database for BW. So we'll see what are the advantages of using HANA as underlying database for BW in the product overview. When we are using HANA as underlying database for BW, we cannot directly start learning SAP BW. First, we have to start learning SAP HANA. How much, up to what extent HANA knowledge we require? We have to learn all those concepts of HANA first. Because For this BW system, from which version of BW we can use HANA as underlying database? BW 7.3. We require minimum service pack 5 or higher. Well, in this course, we are using BW 7.4 with service pack 5. And HANA 1.0, we'll see what are the versions of HANA, BW and all. So when BW is running on traditional database, well, everyone aware of the basics of traditional database, we can directly start learning SAP BW. But in case when BW is installed on top of SAP HANA, for a BW, if a client is using SAP HANA as underlying database, whenever you are working that project, there are so many concepts of HANA you're supposed to know in order to work in that project. So in this course, first we'll start learning SAP HANA. Introduction to SAP HANA. First we'll start with Introduction to SAP HANA. What is SAP HANA business strategy? What is SAP BW HANA? What is the in-memory concept first of all? Okay, comparison of BW with SAP HANA, all these basic concepts. Then SAP HANA architecture, in detail of SAP HANA architecture in various perspectives. In IMC perspective, in-memory computing engine perspective, data provisioning perspective, reporting perspective, modeling perspective. Then we'll start SAP HANA modeling. For SAP BW consultant, you're supposed to have very good understanding of all modeling objects in SAP HANA. This is new SAP HANA Studio. In new SAP HANA Studio, SAP has given BW modeling option as one of the prospect. Before, in SAP HANA Studio, the prospects are modeling prospect, administrator prospect. These are the prospect. But if you look at the new version of SAP HANA Studio, some of the modeling concepts related to HANA information models. So once we created the HANA information models, like attribute views, analytical views, calculation views, we can consume these HANA information models in SAP BW by creating a composite providers, transient providers, and we can import BW models in SAP HANA also, like BW info providers. See, you can import. So whenever you are importing BW models in SAP HANA, whenever you are consuming HANA information models in BW, in order to create transient providers, composite providers, unless until if you don't have complete understanding of HANA modeling, we cannot perform all these activities. So these are the very important day-to-day base activities in BW with SAP HANA project. Creation of the info providers, different types of info providers in order to consume HANA information models in BW, like composite providers, transient providers. So for that reason, we'll learn in depth of HANA modeling, purpose of HANA information models, levels of modeling in SAP HANA, attribute views, analytical views, calculation views. So as a BW with SAP HANA consultant, you need complete HANA modeling concepts, including the new modeling prospects of SAP HANA Studio also. So once we completed HANA part, up to what extent HANA we required to learn BW with SAP HANA, then we will start BW part. Then we'll come to BW part. So in BW, like modeling, first we'll start with modeling, okay, concepts of BW star schema, And when BW is running on top of SAP HANA, we have HANA optimized info cube. HANA optimized info cube is not a star schema anymore. Sorry, extended star schema anymore. It's a flat structure. So this is a BW 7.4 with service pack 5 running on HANA 1.0 with service pack 8. So what is the underlying database for this BW? HDB, HANA database. So when BW is running on top of HANA database, the complete structure of the objects are different. Like we have HANA optimized info cube, HANA optimized DSOs. See, there are so many new options given by SAP. SAP HANA analysis process. See, ODP for HANA information view, ODP for business by design, other contents. So we are going to see all the options related to SAP HANA. After covering the BW concepts. So complete BW, we are going to cover HANA as an underlying database. So then data extraction, data flows, BW 3.x data flows, 7.x data flows, loading the master data, loading the transactional data, new data source concept, transformations in BW. So before starting the transformations, I will cover the ABAP part, because in BW transformations, there are different types of routines like start routines, end routines, export routines. Means we can write the coding in ABAP to achieve our business rules, to achieve our ETL requirements. So up to what extent the ABAP we require, like ABAP data objects, ABAP structures, ABAP internal tables, ABAP field symbols. All these are the concepts we require in order to understand in better way how the transformation framework is designed, how the export routine we have to use in the transformation framework and all. Then DTP, troubleshooting options, how to debug the ABAP routines, so upgradations, business content, DSOs, what are the HANA optimized DSOs, all the migration concepts. Whenever a client is using BW on a traditional database, how the complete migration process will work. After migration, how we are going to convert standard DSOs to HANA optimized DSOs, standard info cubes to HANA optimized info cubes. Because I worked in 3 upgradation projects, so I will show you the complete upgradation process here. Virtual providers. So once we completed the HANA modeling part, for every session we'll be having corresponding assignments. Suppose I'm teaching one data flow with some transformations, some routines. Again, I have to work on one case study, one small assignment related to the topic. Like this, for every sessions, we'll be having corresponding assignments, mini projects and main projects. Then extraction, extracting the data from different SAP source systems, extracting the data from SAP ECC, like using generic extractors, how to extract the data again using generic extractors, how to create a generic extractor based on database table views, classical info sets, functional modules, business content extractions, SCOPA extractions, LO cockpit extractions, delta management, extracting the data from ACC to BW, master data, using master data, business content extractors, generic extractors, process chains, upgrading the process chains, analysis process designer. In the reporting, here we'll be covering BEX reporting, Business Explorer. So BEX Query Designer, and we will also cover integration of BOBI 4.1 with BW, and BW is running on top of SAP HANA. So how to create the BACS connections, complete integration part will be covered. So how to create the BEX queries on composite providers, transient providers, and how to create the BACS connections based on the BEX queries created on top of these composite providers, transient providers. Now coming to part 3. Part 3, completely the new features of BW 7.4, 7.3 when HANA is as underlying database for BW. So consuming HANA models in BW by creating transient providers, composite providers, okay, DB Connect, BA, how HANA accelerate the BW performance, what are the advantages of using HANA as underlying database for BW. So BA workspaces, okay, layered scalable architecture without SAP HANA, with SAP HANA, and what are the new concepts given by SAP recently in BW 7.4, like SAP HANA analysis process, okay, ODP for HANA information views, okay, operational data provisioning for HANA information views, all these new concepts. That is delta part means. So this type part 3 is only what are the new features of BW 7.4 and 7.3 with SAP HANA as underlying database. So if you look at this course content, so first part 1 we are covering HANA, up to what extent HANA we required. Whenever in order to work okay, as a BW consultant, and the BW for the BW system HANA is underlying database. Then second part is we'll cover the complete BW part, including modeling, extractions, as well as reporting. Okay, the same BW system running on top of SAP HANA. Then what are the new features given by SAP, especially from BW 7.3 with Service Pack 5 onwards, when BW is installed on top of HANA database. So this is the course content, my friends. Okay, now the question is, most of the students are, okay, they have a question in their mind. Okay, most of the attendees. The question is, what is the prerequisite of this course? If you look at the prerequisite of this course, if I'm covering only the delta part, like means what are the new features given by SAP when BW install on top of SAP HANA, like HANA optimized info cubes, HANA optimized DSOs, okay, all the new concepts. So if you are attending only delta part of this course, then what is the prerequisite? You're supposed to be a BW consultant, or if you trained in BW, then only you can join this course. But this is not a delta course, my friends. If you look at the course syllabus, the course content, in the course content, so here we are learning all BW modeling, BW extractions, BW reporting. So first we are learning SAP HANA, then we are learning complete BW. As of you are learning BW from the scratch. So you don't require any prerequisites. Well, if you are a BW consultant or you are trained in BW, you don't want to waste the time by attending all the topics, because most of the topics you are aware of, because you are a BW consultant already. Then you can go for delta training. Okay, as a part of this course, these are the projects we will be working on. So if you don't have any BW background, okay, then you don't have to worry. You can join this course because this is not a delta course. Okay, now we'll move on to the second part of our agenda. Just I will give you a brief overview of what is BW, what is SAP HANA, what is the use of using SAP HANA as underlying database for BW. Okay. So if you guys have any questions in the course roadmap, please go ahead so that I can move on to the course overview. You can raise your hand. If you guys have any questions in the course roadmap, please raise your hand. I will unmute you so that we can discuss further. Okay, let's move on to BW 7.4 with SAP HANA overview. So before starting BW 7.4 with SAP HANA overview, product overview, first we will focus on what is a business intelligence? Suppose this is an enterprise. Any type of enterprise. This can be a pharma company or a retail company, a manufacturing sector, a retail or a aerospace and defense, whatever, any enterprise, you name any enterprise or any type of enterprise, a automotive, okay. In every enterprise, the day-to-day business transactions will happen. In order to capture the day-to-day business transactions, these enterprises, they require a transactional system. So what is the purpose of a transactional system? The purpose of transactional system is only for transactions. This can be any type of application. This can be an ERP application, SAP ERP or Oracle ERP, PeopleSoft ERP, or a Java application, a .NET application, or a Power Builder application, or AS Provider application, any application. The purpose of this application is to capture the day-to-day business transaction. For example, if you take a retail company, they have a point of sales application. So what is the purpose of the point of sales application? To capture the day-to-day, okay, sales orders, okay, to automate their sales process. So these applications associated with a corresponding underlying database or backend database, like Oracle, SQL Server, IBM DB2, any database. Whenever we are capturing the day-to-day business transactions, these databases are designed, okay, in a way which is efficient for process, which are efficient for transaction processing. So how we will design the databases for the transaction system? By following ER model, entity relationship model. So entity relationship model is more efficient for the transactional processing. So these systems are specifically for transactions. OLTP systems. These systems are not meant for reporting. If you are running heavy reports on these transactional systems, the overall performance of the system can reduce. And that too, the databases of these transaction systems are not designed to generate the multidimensional reports, to generate the reporting, how exactly the business required the reports. In the same enterprise, they also required a reporting application. What is the purpose of report? First of all, what is a report? Why the business required a report? Just I am showing one Webby report just to give an idea what exactly a report. No, unfortunately, the report is not working. Okay. So the report is nothing but a presentation of the data in a tabular format or in the chart format so that the business users can easily understand and interpret the data for the decision-making process. So for every enterprise, the reports are very, very important. The reports and analysis are very, very important because starting from managing directors, CEOs, okay, department heads, finance managers, sales managers, they require the reports, analysis for decision-making process. So whenever the enterprise requires the reports and analysis, and if you are using these systems, if you are running the heavy reports on the transactional systems, the overall performance of the system can reduce. Apart from that, the databases of these transactional systems are designed which are efficient for transaction processing, not for reporting. Because for reporting we require multi-dimensional reports. So these databases are not designed to generate the multi-dimensional reports. So in this enterprise, we required another application. So what is the purpose of this application? To capture their day-to-day business transaction. What is the purpose of this application? For reporting and analysis. OLAP, Online Analytical Processing. The purpose of this application is only for reporting and analysis. Okay, if you look at this slide, so these are the different types of transactional system in a company and different types of systems where the business data resides. Whenever the business people require the reports and analysis for decision-making process, we need a proper system, a proper application to store the data, to store the historical data for the reporting, okay, to get the real-time data from the different sources for the reporting for real-time reports. So the OLTP systems are for transactional purpose. The OLAP environments are only for reporting and analysis. In OLAP applications, whenever a company wants to develop a OLAP application for the reporting and analysis or for business intelligence, in every data warehousing application, there are three main stages. First one is modeling. Second one is ETL, extracting the data from different source system before loading the data to our data warehousing application, massaging, cleansing, consolidating the data, basically applying our business rules. Third one is reporting. Suppose this is a data warehousing application, and the business, they have different source systems where the business data resides. So what is a source system? The source system is a system where the business data resides. The source system can be a transactional system, the source system can be a database, the source can be a flat file, it doesn't matter where the business data resides. So these are the different source systems. The source system can be a transactional system also, where the day-to-day business transaction will happen. Or it can be any other system like mainframe or a flat file. First, in this data warehousing application, what exactly this data warehousing application, I will explain. In the modeling, as per our reporting requirements, how exactly the business requires the reports. If it is a multi-dimensional report, okay, we'll follow the star schema concept, okay, multi-dimensional modeling. We'll create the data marts, create the info cubes, DSOs. So basically, the modeling is nothing but our designing our data warehousing application, which is efficient for reporting and analysis. So these databases will design for transactional processing, but these databases will design for reporting. So the modeling approaches are different here. Here we'll follow MDM, multi-dimensional modeling. Here we'll follow ERM, entity relationship model. So once the modeling is done, once we design the data marts, info cubes, DSOs, where we want to store the data in the data warehousing application, we can extract the data from different source system. We can transform the data as per our reporting needs, as per the business needs before loading the data to these data marts, these our modeling objects. So the second stage in the data warehousing project is ETL, extract, transform. Transform means massage, cleanse, consolidate the data as per our reporting needs. Then third one is reporting. So once the data has been loaded to our data warehousing application, after undergoing this cleansing process, consolidation process, basically the massaging process, we are all set. We can start reporting. So these reports will broadcast to the different business users in the enterprise, and with the help of these reports and analysis, the business users will take the decisions. So that is the reason these OLAP systems, also known as decision-making systems, okay, decision support systems, business intelligence systems. If you look at this diagram, so these are the different source systems where the business data resides. These are our data warehousing application. So we'll extract the data from different source systems. Before extracting, as per our business rules, as per our ETL rules, how exactly we need the data in the reporting. See, we'll cleanse the data, we'll massage the data. So once the data has been loaded after undergoing this cleansing consolidation process, then you can use different reporting tools and to generate whatever the reports and analysis that are required for the business users. So whenever a client wants to build a data warehousing application, they have different options. The first option is a roll-up application. What is a roll-up application is relational online analytical processing. What is relational online analytical processing? The client can purchase any database from any database vendor as per their data storage requirements, like from Oracle, SQL Server, Teradata, RDBMS. So in this RDBMS, as per our reporting needs, we'll design the data marts, okay, we'll design the star schemas, snowflake schemas, multiple star schemas. Now, the data resides in different source systems. We can use ETL tools like Informatica, Data Stage, Cognos Decision Stream, Business Object Data Services for extracting, transforming, and loading the data to these star schemas, fact tables, dimension tables, to these data marts. Then we can use reporting tools like Cognos, Business Objects Reporting Tools, BOBI, SAP BWI. For reporting and analysis. If you look at this roll-up application, whenever a client is building a roll-up application, it's a time-consuming process. Why it's a time-consuming process? Everything we have to build from the scratch. Everything we have to build from the scratch in these applications. And that too, we don't have any proper application. We don't have any proper user interface to create our objects, to design our cubes, to design our other modeling objects. And in ETL, in the second stage of the data warehousing project, we have to use any third-party ETL tool. Again, like Informatica, Data Stage. Again, for reporting, we have to use any other reporting tool. And once the application is built also, the testing is very big process. The testing is very big phase here, because we have to test this roll-up application in every project before deploying into the production environment. So whenever a client is building a roll-up application, it's a time-consuming process, as well as speeding up the return on investments. It's a bit lengthier, and total cost of ownership is going to increase. That is the reason after the mid-90s, there are some vendors, they came up with roll-up applications. Vendors like SAP, Hyperion, What is a MOLAP application? Is multi-dimensional online analytical processing. From SAP, the MOLAP application from vendor SAP is SAP BW, Business Information Warehouse, released by SAP in 1998. BW 1.x version. First of all, we'll understand what exactly a MOLAP application. By using this MOLAP application, what are the benefits for the client? How they can speed up the return on investments? How the clients can lower their total cost of ownership? What are the main advantages of these MOLAP applications when comparing with these ROLAP applications? Okay, in MOLAP application, we have an application layer. So we'll install this. We have to buy this application from the vendors. Like if a client wants to implement BW, SAP, the client wants to implement Hyperion S-Base, Hyperion. Now Hyperion is acquired by Oracle, Microsoft BI. So these are the application layer, and we can install this application on a database. See, this is application layer. So this is very user-friendly application layer, and complete the tools. What are the tools we require are integrated to this application layer. It's an end-to-end data warehousing solution. Modeling, ETL, and reporting. It's an end-to-end data warehousing solution. Second one is, if you take a MOLAP application like SAP BW, in SAP BW there is a concept of business content. If you look at the business content concept, in business content, from various applications, SAP has delivered tons of business content objects from finance, accounting, controlling, sales, delivery. Not only from these applications, there are business content developed by SAP which are industry specific, like industry specific oil and gas, industry specific apparel and footwear, okay, industry specific utilities, industry specific automotive. So what is the concept of this business content is, using the business content, we can use the objects developed by SAP just by activating them, okay, if those objects suits our business requirements. So you don't have to develop always everything from the scratch. So whenever you are building something from the scratch, it's a time consuming process and it's expensive process also. But whenever you are using an application, okay, and in that application just you are doing the customization, you are using some of the inbuilt objects, that obviously is going to save a lot of time as well as money. Basically the cost is also reduced. And apart from this business content, all the tools which are required to complete our projects are integrated for modeling, and apart from modeling, for transportation, for other administration, SAP has given data warehousing workbench. So for ETL, we can use transformations. From BW 7.3 onwards, SAP tightly integrated BODS 4.0. SAP strongly recommends use business object data services to load the data from non-SAP source systems, so that we can get rid of writing ABAP, okay, complex ABAP routines in transformations. And the beauty of SAP BW is you can integrate, okay, it's compatible with third-party tools also. Suppose I want to use a data stage to load the data from a specific source system, which is very compatible with data stage. Well, you can use the data stage. I want to use Informatica to load the data from a specific source system, see external system. So by default, data services is tightly integrated from BW 7.3 onwards. So reporting tools given by SAP, the default reporting tools for BW is BEX. At the same time, Cognos, we can use Cognos. We can use SAP BOBI, Business Object Business Intelligence tool. Okay, like this, all the tools which are required, okay, to complete our end-to-end data warehousing process is integrated in one application. It's like a combo. And apart from that, there is a business content concept which will help to reduce that cost and to speed up the return on investments. And here the testing is not a very big phase. Like here, whenever you are developing everything from the scratch, okay, testing is also a very big phase. So what are the objects? Okay, just we have to test the data flows. What are the objects we enhanced? What are the business? So testing is also not that much of big phase like we used to have in roll-up application. So from mid-90s, the company started using these MOLAP applications, and they are okay, we can use the business content concept, okay, and we can use other features which are available in these MOLAP applications to speed up our return on investments, okay, to reduce the total cost of ownership also. Well, BW is one of the established reporting tool in the market, a data warehousing application. So it is the most successful product of SAP after SAP R3, means SAP ECC. So BW started in 1998 in 1.x version. Then we have 2.x versions, 3.x versions. Now currently we are in 7.x versions. So the latest version is BW 7.4. Now in this course we are covering Service Pack 5. So this is BW 7.4 and Service Pack 5, and with HANA 1.0 Service Pack 8. The underlying database is HANA. Up to BW 7.3, before Service Pack 5, we can use only any traditional database as underlying database for BW. Traditional database means Oracle, SQL Server, okay, any other traditional databases. When SAP released SAP HANA High Performance Analytical Appliance, a in-memory database, Support Pack 3, Service Pack 3, then they have given a new product strategy for HANA. We can use HANA as underlying database for BW. So what are the advantages of using HANA as underlying database for BW? How HANA accelerates the BW performance? We'll see now. So before starting, okay, how HANA accelerates the BW performance? What are the advantages of using HANA as an underlying database? First, we'll see what is SAP HANA, basics of SAP HANA, because most of you guys are new to SAP HANA. Yes, we'll be covering SAP HANA Studio. Very good question. Yeah, Akhilesh, there is a question from Akhilesh. Okay, we will cover in depth of SAP HANA Studio, all the new features of SAP HANA Studio as well, as I explained just before you attended, Akhilesh. See, in SAP HANA now as a BW consultant, okay, with working with HANA as underlying database, you have to know SAP HANA Studio. That is mandatory part, because using SAP HANA Studio, if you want to import BW models in SAP HANA, see, from SAP HANA Studio only we can import. Second, in SAP HANA Studio, in the latest release, SAP has given a new prospect. If you guys can see my mouse cursor where exactly, see BW modeling. So BW modeling as related to HANA information models. See, this is the BW modeling related to HANA information model, information models like composite providers, transient providers. In order to create all those, even you don't have to log into BW. From SAP HANA Studio only you can create. See, this is my SAP GUI. Now, if I have to create a HANA, in order to consume HANA information models in BW, okay, I have to create composite providers, transit providers. Then I have to log into this application, BW application layer. Before SAP released the latest SAP HANA Studio version, But now a new prospect given in SAP HANA Studio itself. What is a new option? BW modeling. So all the clients now using SAP HANA Studio for BW modeling also. So let me show you how to, from SAP HANA Studio only I will connect to SAP BW. See connection. So it will show you all the connections from your GUI, SAP GUI. See, I'm saying, okay, these are my connections in SAP GUI. Select your GUI connection. Automatically it will pick. Client is 001. These are my BW credentials. Say I already connected to BW server. You can see all the info areas from BW server. So this is mandatory. As a BW with HANA consultant, you're supposed to know how to use SAP HANA Studio. What is modeling perspective? Okay. So whenever we are covering HANA modeling part, so first we'll start HANA modeler, means SAP HANA Studio in modeling perspective. Then we will cover complete modeling of HANA using this studio. So in this HANA modeling part, first we'll start SAP HANA Studio. Okay. So that is covered. The total duration of this course is 65 to 70 hours, including 50 hours assignments and 200 hours projects. Because if you look at the projects, I will give one COPA project, cost profitability analysis, one order fill rate project, SAP SD, header level and item level reports, okay, and a material movement project, one material movement SKU, okay, procurement projects, as well as some accounts payable, account receivable, general ledger projects also. One end-to-end. How end-to-end is like this. One data flow end-to-end, starting from the problem description, what type of reports the client required. You can see the complete data flow and what type of routines we required. So complete coding also I will give. ABAP coding. Anyways, we will be covering ABAP coding also. How to write the routines. See the routines. Like this. One end-to-end scenario. Project means not okay in one project. Okay, if you require finance reports, we are developing the finance data flows. So one end-to-end scenario. That's what a project means. Now we'll see what is SAP HANA, and using SAP HANA, how HANA accelerates the BW performance. SAP HANA, high performance analytical appliance, is a technology which allows the processing of huge quantity of real-time data in the main memory of the server to provide the near-time results from the transactions. Now this definition looks very technical. We don't bother about this definition. First we'll understand the HANA, then we can easily understand this definition. First we'll focus on, there are so many traditional databases available in the market. What is the necessity of a in-memory database like SAP HANA? Why SAP released this in-memory database? What is the necessity of this in-memory appliance to the enterprise? Okay. First we have to understand what is information explosion. what is information explosion is, as a result of globalization, when the enterprises started their operations in different states within the country, in different countries, okay, in different continents, basically in different geographical locations, the data spread across in different geographical locations, in different systems, in different formats. If you look at this slide, so in this slide, the COPA data is in a data warehousing application. So we have some data in spreadsheet, some data in the form of tweets in the Twitter, some data in other social media, like in Facebook. Okay, sales order data is in a transactional system. Like this, whenever the information explosion, like in a enterprise, like this, there are so many challenges, there are so many consequences the enterprises are facing as a result of this information explosion. First of all, after this social media, okay, and the smartphones, the volume of data generated by the enterprise is very, very high. I will give you a small statistics. Whatever the data we have at this point of time, in entire world's data, 90% of the entire world's data is generated since last 2.5 to 3 years span. That's it. Just imagine how rapidly the data is growing. The entire world's data, 90% of the data is generated since last 2.5 to 3 years span. That's it. So whenever the companies are dealing with such a high volume of data, the data, okay, whatever the data generated from the smartphones, other devices, from social media, okay, and apart from that, there are other business data, transactional data, okay, any other business data. What are the daily challenges the companies are facing? The daily challenges includes, first one is complex system landscape. If you look at this, as a result of information explosion, the business data resides in different geographical locations, in different systems, in different formats. Whenever the client is having such a complex system landscape, there are so many challenges. What type of other challenges? Immediate results. The business users, they are responsible for making decisions. So whenever they require the decisions, in order to make the effective decisions, they need proper reports and analysis. And getting the right data on right time from such a complex landscape is really a big challenge. Massive growth of data volume. As I said, okay, 90% of the entire world's data is generated within 2.5 to 3 years. And as per one of the Gartner research, in every 18 months, the enterprise data doubles. Whenever, okay, the data is growing, okay, such a rapidly, how to manage such a big data? If you are managing such a high volume of data or big data using traditional databases, what are the bottlenecks? We'll see all these things now. Apart from these challenges, there are so many other consequences as well. Suboptimal execution speed, lack of responsiveness, user frustration, unsupportable business process, lack of transparency, need for aggregation, outdated figures, guessing the current situation is very difficult. Reactive business model. If you don't have reactive business model, then we are going to miss the opportunities. The competitors will take away our opportunities. We cannot sustain in the market. See, the business users not only require the reports on historical data, they require the reports on real-time data also. See, real-time data. Now this is an enterprise, ABC Inc. This enterprise started in 2010. Their fiscal year starts in July, ends in June. Means they have 4 full fiscal years of data, historical data. Business required reports on historical data. What is the purpose of reports on historical data? So whatever the reports and analysis we are going to generate on top of historical data, what type of decision making it will be helpful. The business user required reports on historical data for the decision making process of trend analysis, forecasting, planning, budgeting. For example, for 2014 coming Christmas, the managers, the top level managers of Walmarts are very busy because they have to take the decisions what type of gift items they have to introduce for different age group peoples, like for senior citizens, for teenagers, for kids. How they are going to take the decisions? How they are going to forecast? They will go back to the historical data. They will analyze the historical data. They will go back to 2013 Christmas data, 2012 Christmas data, if required 2011 Christmas data. After analyzing this data, well, they are going to take a decision. Since last 3-4 years historical data analysis, these are the items we are selling more for teenagers. These are the items we are selling more for senior citizens. Accordingly, they will take the decisions for forecasting. That makes sense also. On the other hand, the business users also require reports on real-time data. What is real-time data? Suppose this is a transaction system, a point of sales application. Real-time data means up-to-date data. Once the transaction is happened in the source system, I need the transaction right away for the reporting purpose. That's it. Real-time analytics. This is historical analytics. This is the real-time analytics. So reports on up-to-date data. The data, we require a report up to last commit also. What type of decision making? We require real-time reports for spontaneous decision making. For example, the business user required order status tracking reports. So how many orders we created since last commit? Out of them, how many are closed? How many of them are still open? And delivery status tracking reports, inventory level monitoring reports. For these type of reports, we require the real-time data. Whenever the information explosion is like this, getting the real-time data for real-time analytics is really a challenge. In SAP BW also we have the concept of RDA, real-time data acquisition. So when we are dealing with such a complex system landscape, getting the real-time data for real-time analytics is also one of the big challenge. When an enterprise using a traditional databases, traditional tools to manage such a high volume of data, is a cost-effective management of large data volume. Getting current and complete information is very difficult. And if you are executing a query on top of such a high volume of data, and it's going to take long time to get the results. So why, we have these many bottlenecks. When we are using a traditional databases to manage such a high volume of data or big data. So by using traditional databases, traditional tools to manage such a high volume of data, what are the major bottlenecks? First, we'll understand how a traditional database will work. In a traditional database, the primary persistence of the data is a hard drive, which is a mechanical device. This is the CPU or processor. And this is the RAM, which is a main memory. So whenever we require the data for the reporting or in a traditional analytics, what is a traditional analytics? In a traditional analytics, we'll use the traditional databases. The processor will perform the disk IOs. to read the data from hard drive to RAM. Then the data is available for reporting or for processing, whatever. This is traditional analytics. In traditional analytics, the major bottlenecks are disk IOs. The major bottlenecks are disk IOs. Now, let's understand how an in-memory database will work. Not only SAP HANA, if you name any other in-memory databases like Greenplum or any other databases, in-memory databases. In in-memory databases, the primary persistence of the data is not in hard drive, no, in RAM. The complete data resides in the RAM itself. Now we'll see what is the capacity of RAM we can accommodate in high performance analytical appliance in HANA. The complete data resides in the main memory itself. We don't require any disk IOs. The data is directly available from RAM. This is called in-memory analytics. In-memory analytics. Always in-memory analytics is very faster when comparing with traditional analytics. Well, as far as HANA is concerned, not only HANA is an in-memory database, so in-memory analytics are possible. Apart from that, HANA can fully leverage new software technology innovations, new hardware technology innovations, which makes HANA super duper fast. Now, whatever the challenges, whatever the consequences the enterprises are facing as a result of information explosion, all these challenges and consequences we can overcome using SAP HANA as one of the solution. How? In SAP HANA is an in-memory database. The complete data resides in the main memory. So groundbreaking in-memory innovations, scalability, flexibility. You can extract the data from any source system to SAP HANA. And one of the biggest strengths of SAP HANA is SAP HANA supports real-time replication. So what we discussed, the business required reports on historical data as well as reports on real-time data. Sometimes reports with the combination of historical and real-time data. So that is the reason SAP introduced hybrid provider from BW 7.3 onwards, okay, to combine the historical data as well as real-time data. So whenever the business users required real-time reports on real-time data or real-time analytics, in SAP HANA there are two real-time replication methods given by SAP. One is SLT, SAP Landscape Transformation. Second one is Sybase Replication Server. Using these real-time replication, not only from SAP source systems, we can replicate the real-time data from non-SAP source systems also. Like SLT supports SAP as well as non-SAP source systems. From any source system, replicating the data in a real-time mode, okay, in a batch mode is very simple, very flexible. Now speed-wise, SAP HANA is an in-memory database, so in-memory analytics are possible. Just now, okay, we discussed why in-memory analytics is very faster when comparing with traditional analytics. Apart from these in-memory capabilities, SAP HANA can fully leverage new software technology innovations. We'll see what are those new software technology innovations, new hardware technology innovations that HANA can fully leverage, which makes HANA super duper fast. So 3,600 times faster when comparing with your traditional analytics. Okay. Now we'll see a brief history about SAP HANA. Then we'll see how BW is accelerated by HANA. Okay. SAP HANA released by SAP in 2010, November 20th. HANA High Performance Analytical Appliance. The version is 1.0 and Service Pack is 0. Then Service Pack 1, Service Pack 2. Up to HANA Service Pack 2, what is the product strategy of SAP HANA? Product strategy in the sense, how a client can use SAP HANA. Suppose I am a client. I want to use SAP HANA. How I can use this product? That is a product strategy. Up to HANA 1.0 Service Pack 2, HANA can be used as a data mart. HANA cannot be used as underlying database for BW, or HANA cannot be used as underlying database for ECC or CRM. No, HANA as a data mart. So we'll see what is HANA as a data mart. In order to see HANA as a data mart, first we have to discuss what is a big data. Nowadays, the big data, you guys maybe heard about the big data. The next generation is going to be the big data only. Because, okay, the way how the data is rapidly growing in the enterprises, okay, every company has to go for big data solution. What is big data? Big data refers to the data sets that exceeds the ability of commonly used tools. While no formal definition on based on size exists, the data sets typically starts with terabytes. What is a petabyte? 1024 terabytes equivalent to 1 petabyte, or even exabytes. 1024 petabytes equivalent to 1 exabyte. Up to when SAP released SAP HANA, suppose as a business owner, I am releasing a product in the market. This is a product. Whenever I am releasing a product in the market, first I will decide a target group. Whom, okay, I supposed to target this product. To whom I supposed to target this product. To which group I can sell this product. So when SAP released SAP HANA, what is SAP target group is the customer who wants to implement the big data projects. Customers who wants to implement the big data project. Initially, SAP released, initially SAP released SAP HANA not to accelerate the BW performance. No. So SAP HANA is the main purpose is to use HANA as one of the solution for the big data. The product group, the target group is the client who are looking for big data solution. What is a big data project? See, these are big data. So using traditional, instead of using traditional tools, traditional databases to manage the big data, we'll use big data tools, big data technologies to store the big data. That is nothing but a big data project. SAP has positioned SAP HANA as is one of the solutions for the big data at low end of this scale. So initially, up to support pack 2, HANA can be used as one of the solutions for the big data. So what is a big data project? So using specific tools, specific technologies to manage our company's big data, not using traditional tools, traditional databases. The total market for the big data at this point of time is $24 billion. So what are the famous technologies that are available for the big data projects? First one is Hadoop, Apache Hadoop. It's the open source. Hadoop is a cluster-based solution for the big data. What is Hadoop cluster? In Hadoop cluster, okay, so in Hadoop, we'll store the big data not in one machine, in several machines in the network. That is nothing but Hadoop cluster. So in this Hadoop cluster, we have a master machine which controls our slave machines. The simple concept Hadoop is, suppose if I am allocating a work to one person can complete the work in 1 week. If I am allocating 7 persons to complete the work, 7 persons together can complete the work in 1 day. Which one is faster? Allocating the 7 persons is faster. Same. If you are storing the big data in one machine, we are overburdening the machine. Instead of that, we'll store the data in several machines in the Hadoop cluster, which control, okay, we can have thousands of slave nodes controlled by master machine. The data will be stored in Hadoop using a file system that is called Hadoop Distributed File System, HDFS, and we'll process this data using a programming language called MapReduce. So the data will be stored. What is Hadoop architecture? What is Hadoop concept? It's very simple concept. Instead of storing the big data in one machine, we'll distribute the data over the several machines. And not only storing the data distributed way, the processing also distributed here. That increases the speed of processing the big data, and that is an efficient process of storing the big data. That is nothing but Hadoop cluster. Now, how many machines you can have in Hadoop cluster? It's up to the business requirement. So if you look at one of the Hadoop cluster in Yahoo side, Yahoo built a Hadoop cluster with 25,000 slave nodes controlled by one master machine. See, this is a Hadoop cluster at Yahoo. How many slave nodes we have? 25,000 slave nodes. So we can start with one machine. We can have thousands of slave nodes also in Hadoop. So Hadoop is a cluster-based solution. Second one is SAP HANA. SAP HANA is an in-memory based solution for the big data. SAP HANA is an in-memory based solution. So what is in-memory based solution? The complete big data resides in the main memory itself. And one of the biggest advantage of HANA is the data is stored in form of tables in SAP HANA. Here file system, here database. It's like other databases, how we will store the data in form of tables. If you look at this is HANA database. This is a schema. So this is a normal database table. Well, again we have column-based storage, row-based storage, but basic here how the data is stored in form of tables. So it supports SQL also. When we are storing the data in tables, data retrieval process is very faster, very efficient, because in Hadoop file system, we know what are the drawbacks of the file system, storing the data in the file. But still, okay, we can process, okay, if we have MapReduce to process such a large volume data in Hadoop also, well, both are, they have their own advantages, pro and cons. So one of the biggest advantage of Hadoop is it's open source, it's a free. So in memory, HANA is a not free. So it's an in-memory based solution. It's very faster. Always in-memory analytics is very faster. So when SAP released SAP HANA, the main purpose of the main product strategy of SAP HANA is up to support pack 2, HANA can be used as a data mart. Means HANA is one of the solution for the big data. At launch, HANA started with 1 terabyte of RAM, supporting up to 5 terabytes of uncompressed data. We'll talk about what is compressed data and uncompressed data. In late 2011, hardware with 8 terabytes of RAM became available, which supported up to 40 terabytes of uncompressed data. See, May 2012, 2 years back, HANA was able to run on a server with 100 terabytes of main memory, powered by IBM. So SAP, in collaboration with IBM, they built an HANA appliance with 100 terabytes of main memory. Hasselplattner claimed that the system was big enough to run 8 largest SAP customers' data. So in one HANA is capable of accommodating 8 largest SAP customers. Who is the largest customer for SAP? Maybe Fortune 50 companies, Fortune 100, Fortune 500, Fortune 1000 companies. Look at that. How much big data we can store in SAP HANA. So HANA is one of the perfect solution for the big data, but it's an in-memory based solution. Now, I released a product in a market. So as of now, the target group for this product is only the clients who wants to implement the big data project. Now if I want to sell this product, okay, if I want to improve the sales of this product, I have to increase my target group, right? Suppose this product can be target to only this target group. Now you want more sales. More sales means you have to increase your target group. With the same intention, SAP also wants to increase the target group for SAP HANA. When SAP released HANA 1.0, Service Pack 3, so released in 7 November 2011, focus is HANA as underlying database for business information warehouse, also named Project Orange. So how they increased the target group is, the customers who are facing the problems with BW, a client is using BW as a EDW, Enterprise Data Warehousing Application. Okay, they have the query performance problems using traditional databases and all. Though they are using BW, still they want to accelerate the BW performance because EDW means Enterprise Data Warehousing Application. A client is using BW as a EDW. In that case, in order to accelerate the BW performance, we can use HANA as an underlying database for BW. When the client is using HANA as underlying database for BW, there are so many advantages. The first advantage is HANA accelerates BW performance. How HANA accelerates the BW performance? See, up to support pack 2, what is the product strategy of SAP HANA? HANA can be used as a data mart. So we have different source systems. We can load the data, big data, we can store the big data, modeling and reporting. So whenever a client is using SAP HANA as a data mart, as one of the solutions for the big data, in that project we have 3 stages. What are those 3 stages? HANA as a data mart. If your client is using HANA as HANA as one of the solution for the big data. First is loading the data from different source system to SAP HANA. That is data provisioning. Once we set up the HANA system, once we created the tables and all, first stage, when a client is using SAP HANA as one of the solution for the big data. In that project, we have 3 stages. There are still so many clients are using SAP HANA as one of the solution for the big data or HANA as a data mart. So in that project, we have 3 stages. One is data provisioning. What is data provisioning? Loading the data from different source systems to SAP HANA. In order to load the data from different source systems to SAP HANA, proper terminology is given by SAP. The terminology is data provisioning. So what is data provisioning in SAP HANA? When a client is using SAP HANA as one of the solution for the big data, or whenever a client is using SAP HANA as a data mart, in that project, first loading the data from different source systems. The client wants to store all their big data from different source system in SAP HANA. Data provisioning. In data provisioning, again, SAP has given different options. We can load the data directly from the flat files to SAP HANA. Then ETL based approach, there is one source system. And in the source system, the data is not in its original shape. Before loading the data to SAP HANA, we need complex transformations to be performed. Cleansing, consolidating the data before loading the data to SAP HANA as per our big data storage requirements, as per our reporting requirements on big data. In that case, we'll use ETL based approach. In ETL based approach, the certified ETL tool is Business Object Data Services, starts with 4.0, Okay, it supports from 4.0, 4.1, 4.2. See, these are the data services. So in a ETL based approach, so we'll use business object data services 4.0, 4.1 or 4.2 to load the data from different source system to SAP HANA. So business object data services is a very powerful ETL tool like Informatica data stage. Okay, it supports various types of transforms. Okay, data quality transforms, data integrated transforms, platform transforms, text data processing transform. Apart from that, it supports various types of predefined functions like lookup functions, okay, aggregation functions, string functions, and we can write the scripts also, SQL script, ABAP data flows, and for data quality transforms, we can use Python scripting also in order to achieve our complex ETL requirements. So in trigger-based approach is nothing but SLT, real-time replication. So we can replicate the data in a real-time mode also. So once the data is saved in the source system, right away the data is replicating to the HANA database tables. Okay, and log-based approach, Sybase replication server, this is also real-time replication, direct extractor connection, smart data access, different data provisioning methods given by SAP. So once the data has been loaded, we'll use a tool called SAP HANA Studio in modeler perspective for modeling. So modeling deals with designing the information models as per our reporting needs. Then reporting using SAP BW 4.0, 4.1. When SAP released HANA 1.0 Service Pack 3, so one HANA database we can use for one of the solution for the big data, and the same HANA database we can use to accelerate our BW performance if the client is using BW in the system landscape. So if you look at this HANA database, one HANA database, so we can create a number of schemas. We can store our big data. The same HANA database you can use as an underlying database for BW. So whenever you are using HANA as underlying database for BW, so these are our BW system. So the underlying database for this BW is HDB. These are name, host, and complete BW tables will be created only one schema. See, only one schema is allocated for BW. Only one schema. The schema name is SAP BW4. Still, you can use the HANA as as a data mart also. If you want to store the big data, all the BW tables and data will be stored and created in this schema only. Only one schema is allocated for BW. That's it. If you look at this HANA optimized info cube, ZIC underscore sales, the fact table of this cube is created this HANA optimized info cube is created in this schema. This is a fact table /BAC. So the complete tables created in only one schema. Now what are the advantages of using BW as a underlying database, HANA as an underlying database for BW? So when BW is running on traditional database, we need an appliance. The name of the appliance is BWA, BW Accelerator. This is also in-memory based appliance which stores BW info cubes in main memory to accelerate the BW reporting performance, only query performance. So when the client is upgraded BW on HANA, we don't require BW anymore. Okay, we don't require traditional database anymore. So HANA is 2-in-1. Means HANA will store the data, complete BW data in the database, see only one schema, and HANA will accelerate the BW performance more than BWA, because BWA will accelerate only query performance of BW, whereas HANA will accelerate the query performance as well as the ETL performance also. Due to the architectural difference of objects, okay, the ETL performance also accelerated. So HANA is more than BWA. So the advantages of using BW, okay, with HANA as underlying database. Excellent query performance with proven BWA. So how BWA will accelerate the BW performance? By storing all BW info queues in main memory, means in-memory analytics. Just now we discussed in-memory analytics is always faster when comparing with traditional analytics. Second, HANA also in-memory database. Using HANA also in-memory analytics are possible. The complete BW data, okay, cubes data, DSOs data resides in the main memory, in-memory analytics. Apart from that, whenever we are using HANA optimized BW with HANA, so we have HANA optimized info cubes, HANA optimized DSOs. HANA optimized info cubes are not multi-dimensional structures anymore. So we don't require dimension IDs to be added to the dimension tables. ETL process is also faster. DSO activation is pushed down to HANA underlying database. DSO activation is also very faster. So using HANA as underlying database for BW, not only HANA accelerates the BW query performance, it also accelerates ETL performance, means data loading performance. Accelerated in-memory planning capabilities. When we are using integrated planning with BW or BOPC, okay, in NetWeaver version of BOPC near BW, and that BW is installed on top of SAP HANA. In SAP HANA, we have a planning engine. So using planning engine, we can push down all the execution of planning functions. Even we can write HANA stored procedures in order to push down our HANA planning functions or database layer. So accelerated in-memory capabilities. So these are the, okay, HANA is an added value for BW, is a complementary for BW. So HANA is more than BW, okay, it's accelerate, how it's more than BWA? BWA accelerates only query performance, whereas HANA accelerates query performance as well as ETL performance. Second one is in-memory capabilities. If you are using integrated planning, BW install on HANA or BOPC, we have integrated planning capabilities, in-memory planning capabilities. Now in terms of, okay, a cost, in terms of administration, this is in terms of performance. What are the advantages of using HANA as an underlying database for BW? In terms of administration, in terms of cost. First of all, when BW is running on traditional database, the client has to pay the check for database vendor and the check for BW vendor. For BW, the vendors are IBM and HP. Well, what are the database they are using? IBM, sorry, Oracle, SQL Server. Here the cost is more. Here the cost is less, because when BW is running on top of HANA database, BWA and traditional database are obsolete. We don't require these two anymore, two in one. See, DB and BWA merging into one instance for lower the total cost of ownership. Here we have to administrate, okay, BWA traditional database. Here we have to administrate only one appliance. Simplified administration via one set of admin tools. For example, data recovery and high availability. That too, administration is very simple. Column-based storage with highly compression rates and significantly less the data to be materialized. In SAP HANA, we have a column-based table. Whenever we are using column-based tables, for example, this is a traditional database. In traditional database, we have 1 terabyte of data. If you are storing the same data in SAP HANA, HANA supports column-based tables. Using column-based tables, the data is highly optimized for the read operations, very fast for reporting, and if you are storing the data in column-based tables, the data is highly compressed. 1 terabyte of data will become only 100 GB in SAP HANA. This is called compressed data. Column-based storage with high compression rates and significantly less data to be materialized. See what type of table it is? The fact table of this cube, column store table. There are no specific efforts to guarantee fast reporting on any DB. Simplified data modeling and reduced materialized objects. Whenever we are using BW with HANA, the modeling is very simple. BW modeling is very simple. HANA optimized info cubes, HANA optimized DSOs. Because if you take HANA optimized info cubes, HANA optimized info cubes are flat structure. We don't have any dimension tables. Fact table will directly connect to the surrogate ID tables. So no dimension tables are required. Data loading is very faster. Modeling is very faster. Modeling is very simple. Remodeling is very simple. Here when BW is running on traditional database, standard info cube is a extended star schema. So info cube design is okay. Modeling is not that much of easy when comparing with HANA optimized info cube modeling. We have to design the dimensions here. Again, to design the dimensions, we have to follow various best practices. Okay, line item dimensions, okay, dimension with high cardinality. We have to make sure that the data of dimension table when comparing the fact table, say 20-80%. Okay, there are different best practices we have to follow to design the dimensions. First of all, we don't have the dimensions. We can get rid of all those headaches. Very simple modeling. Simplified data modeling, okay, integrated and embedded flexibility for data mods. So when BW is running on traditional database, we require traditional database and BWA. Here we have standard DSOs. When this system is upgraded, when this BW system is upgraded as a HANA database, we don't require BW anymore. We don't require RDBMS anymore. Standard DSOs, HANA optimized DSOs. Database server and SAP Network BW we required. We require only HANA in-memory platform. Standard info cubes, HANA optimized info cubes. BW integrated planning, in-memory planning engine. And upgradation is also very simple. Once you upgrade the system, okay, BW system, okay, to HANA database, to convert HANA standard info cubes to HANA optimized info cubes, standard DSOs to HANA optimized DSOs, SAP has given a migration tool. You don't have to rebuild. You don't have to migrate the data flows. You don't have to rebuild multi-providers, info sets, or BEX queries. So migration without re-implementation. So let me show you some of the testimonials from the clients who migrated their systems from BW to HANA. The first client who upgraded their system from BW to HANA database is Red Bull in 2011 ending. SAP NetWeaver BW 7.3 migrated to SAP HANA. Non-disruptive fast migration, project completed less than 2 weeks. Database size before migration is 1.5 terabytes. So before Red Bull using traditional database with BW. So in HANA database, HANA appliance they purchased from Fujitsu. In HANA database, using column-based tables, the data is highly compressible and the column-based tables are highly optimized for the read operations for reporting. So the database size migrated to 80%. After migration, the database size is reduced by 80%. Simplification and load performance boost. So we know, okay, when BW is running on top of SAP HANA, it not only accelerates the query performance using in-memory analytics, and apart from in-memory analytics, HANA can fully leverage new software technology innovation, new hardware technology innovations. So it accelerates the query performance as well as ETL performance also. Simplified architecture. InfoCubes as aggregation layer no longer required. When BW is running on top of SAP HANA, the main objects are DSOs. Only for non-cumulative scenarios like material movements, we require the HANA optimized InfoCubes. Most of the scenarios, we don't need InfoCubes as aggregation levels anymore. We can directly read the data from DSOs for the reporting. So no more replication to InfoCubes and BW index necessary. And significant load time improvement and reduce the total cost of ownership. A utility client who upgraded their BW system from traditional database to HANA database. For DSO activation of 5.2 million records, the performance significantly improved by factor 32 because when BW is running on traditional database, the complete activation of standard DSO, like doing the lookup on active data, okay, calculating the deltas, okay, history, the lookup process will be carried out in application layer. Whenever the complete lookup, whenever the complete activation of the DSO, okay, is carried out at application layer, the massive amount of data transfer will happen between application layer to database layer. From database layer to application layer. Application layer required more round trips to the database, significantly reducing the performance, means taking longer time for the activation. When BW is running on top of SAP HANA, the complete activation of standard DSO we can push down to HANA database layer. So this way we can avoid the massive amount of data transfer between database layer to application layer, which improves the performance of BW really in terms of activation of DSO. So before it was this time, data load, see query performance, massive data volume reduction. Before the database size is 4.3 terabytes. After only 7.3 terabytes, because in SAP HANA, whenever we are using column-based tables to store the data, there are two advantages. Using column-based tables, the data is highly compressed. Second one is the data is highly optimized for the read operations. So this is one consumer product company, automotive. Now, after completion of this course, what type of jobs you can target? First of all, a client is using BW on a traditional database, XRDBMS. So there are almost 20,000 companies who are using BW. Now SAP is strongly recommending them. In fact, SAP is forcing them to go for HANA. So all these clients who are using BW with traditional database, they are migrating, they are upgrading their BW systems to HANA database. So there are so many upgradation projects in the market. So after upgradation also, they required BW with HANA consultants in a production support environment. So you can target production support jobs also. Because in this course we'll see process change, debugging, all other options which are required for production support jobs. Now a client is implementing BW, the new BW implementation, but they don't want to use traditional database. Anyways, down the road, okay, they have to go for again upgradation to HANA. Okay. So they are all new BW implementations are using SAP HANA database only. Most of the new BW implementation, especially in North America. So whenever a client is implementing BW on HANA, if it is a new implementation, then they require the BW resources who can work with HANA as underlying database. So all the new concepts, okay, complete BW, data flows and all, including HANA modeling, all whatever, okay, 3 parts as we are going to discuss in this course. Part 1 HANA, part 2 BW, part 3 is all the new features of BW HANA as underlying database, starting from BW 7.3 Service Pack 5 to BW 7.4 Service Pack 5. And new implementation and stabilization projects. Suppose a client is upgraded to HANA database, but they need some new objects to be developed, or some objects to be redesigned, some stabilization work. So as of now, most of the clients who are looking for BW resources, even if they are not using BW with SAP HANA, they are using traditional database, maybe down the road, after 2 months, 3 months, they want to go for HANA. See, most of the clients are looking for BW with HANA resources. Means, so they require the BW consultant. This is one of the job site. BW with SAP HANA. See, okay, HANA is must, BW is must, BW, they need HANA skills, BW skills, okay, BEX queries. So that, okay, we can see our course content. So we are covering all this. So reporting tools, we are using BEX, and I will show you the integration with BOBI also. So if you look at this, so as I explained, for a SAP HANA BW consultant, HANA modeling is very important, because we'll consume HANA information models in BW, we'll import BW models in HANA whenever we are dealing with all these type of scenarios. So we need to know what is HANA attribute views, analytical views, calculation views, and how to consume. So we are going to learn in depth of HANA modeling. So look at the requirements, how exactly the client is asking BW with SAP HANA, because HANA is very vast, my friends. So HANA is very vast. So these are the scenarios of SAP HANA. Give me 1 second. So there are different courses in SAP HANA because SAP HANA product strategy is very vast now. So these are the different scenarios of SAP HANA. Sorry. See here. First product strategy is HANA as a data mart. HANA for application development. So we can use HANA, okay, for application development with Java, application development with ABAP, HANA with reporting analytics. The client can use HANA to build their roll-up application, to build the complete loading the data and designing the information models, reporting using BOBA 4.0. HANA as an accelerator. BW and HANA, Cloud and HANA, Business Analytics with SAP HANA. See, there are different scenarios. So in this course, we are covering SAP, BW and HANA. So in HANA as a data mart course, we'll offer this course also. Here we'll learn in depth of data provisioning using business object data services in 20 hours, SLT, modeling in depth, reporting in depth. So user management, security, and little bit of BW 7.4 on HANA. But here we'll learn, okay, HANA up to what extent we require for BW to work with BW with SAP HANA, like in complete HANA architecture, HANA basics, HANA modeling, then BW, complete BW, and BW new options BW 7.3 and 7.4 given by SAP as HANA as underlying database. So like this, we have different scenarios for SAP HANA. So HANA as a data mart, HANA for application development, HANA for, this is BOBA 4.0 and 4.1 with HANA. This is a separate course. HANA as an accelerator, BW and HANA. Now, this course does not require a prerequisite as a BW because we are going to learn the BW from the scratch here. So only the prerequisite for this course is basics of SQL, some basics of RDBMS. If you have some exposure to BW, it's well and good, though it's not mandatory. So as a part of this course, you will get a sandbox access for 3 months. In this sandbox access, so we will have SAP HANA 1.0 service pack 8, SAP HANA Studio with all the new prospects including BW modeling. Then we will get access to Business Object Data Services 4.2. You will get access to SLT. Then BOBA 4.0 and 4.1 reporting tools. And BW 7.4 with Service Pack 5. So install on top of this SAP HANA as well as SAP ECC. So we'll be providing the sandbox access using RDP, remote desktop connection. So you can log into this RDP using Mac operating system or using Windows operating system also. So once you log into this RDP, like in our projects, how we'll connect to RDPs using VPN, but here we don't have any VPN. You can see SAP HANA Studio. So the latest version, so 1.80, and you can see all the new prospects, including BW modeling. Now you can see the most of the new prospects: ABAP connectivity and integration, ABAP, BW modeling. Then Business Object Data Services 4.2. Then BOBA 4.1. Then BW 7.4 with Service Pack 5. On traditional database also we'll get, because sometimes we have to compare both when we are learning BW. Then ECC with SLT. And apart from this, we'll get a blog access, training blog access for 6 months. Give me 2 seconds, folks. I will take your questions. We are almost done. So I'm sending this blog access to everyone. Tomorrow, for tomorrow session also, you can attend for the free. Tomorrow 2 sessions. I sent the blog access to everyone. Just you click on this blog. You'll see in the webinar links. Okay, in order to attend tomorrow's session, as well as day after tomorrow. So this blog, you can post the questions to the instructor. Okay, you can have the access to the video recordings. You can download the material, complete material. Okay, and you will be having the blog access for 6 months and sandbox access for 3 months with all the systems. Okay, and if you want to extend your sandbox access also, it's possible after 3 months with a minimal fees for our utility bills to pay and to pay our technical support. So 24, okay, most of the times the technical support is available. Okay, and again we have 2 types of modes. If you want to attend, you can attend the live mode, and if you want to purchase only the videos, you can purchase the videos. Blog access you can purchase. Still in the blog access also, you'll be having once in a week you will be having the interaction with the instructor, and you can post the questions to the instructor, and you can download the material. You'll have all the pre-recorded sessions for BW with HANA 1.0 service package. So we are on last part of our session agenda today. Questionnaires. If you guys have any questions, first raise your hand so that I can unmute you guys to discuss your questions further. Well, there is a question from a gentleman. Very good. There is a question, what is the certification? Will you be coaching for SAP HANA certification? Well, absolutely. So we'll give, okay, HANA certification dump. 99% of the questions will come from those dump only. HANA application associate, whatever the certification you want to go for. And apart from that, each and every topic will be covering the certification questions, and we'll conduct certification test also. Okay, and this course will fully prepared not only for the projects, in order to complete your certifications as well. So our students are getting the certifications with 91%, 92%. Okay, recently one of our student, he got the certification with 10% also. What modules do you have on ECC? So in the modeling, we will extract the data from SAP ECC to SAP HANA. So in SAP ECC, we will extract the data from FI modules, okay, controlling modules, COPA, okay, cost center accounting, profit center accounting, then SD, MM. So the modeling for these scenarios will be covered. Okay, we'll see, okay, scenario for COPA, we'll see scenario for sales order modeling, how to create the attribute views, analytical views, what are the different modeling approaches. Okay, purchase order header, purchase order item. So these are the modules will be covered for SAP ECC for modeling in SAP HANA. So if you want, I can show you a couple of CRM scenarios also. That's not a big deal. Anyways, we'll be covering CRM extractions also. No, this course does not cover BOBJ. This is BW and HANA. In BW and HANA, we cover BEX reporting tools. As I said, I will be showing only integration of BOBI. We don't cover any BOBI reporting tools here. So as a part of this course, the BEX reporting tools will be covered. So if you want to learn BOBI reporting tools with SAP HANA, we have 2 more courses. SAP BOBI with BOBI 4. With SAP HANA, or you can learn HANA as a data mart course also. In those, we'll teach how to design the dashboard reports on top of SAP HANA. But here, we'll cover only BEX reporting tools, BEX Query Designer, BEX Analyzer, BEX Web Application Designer. Here we don't cover BOBA, no. HANA, this is not a HANA as a data mart course. As I explained, HANA is very vast. The reporting tools will be covered for different scenarios of HANA course. Yes, Akhilesh. So first of all, you have to be clear, Akhilesh, what part of HANA you want to concentrate. So as I said, I was showing one of the slides. We have HANA different scenarios. In BW HANA, we don't cover BEX reporting tool. Sorry, BOBI 4.0 or 4.1 reporting tool. We'll be covering the BEX reporting.
Okay. What I want to know is what is the length of this course? I mean, is it weekly once for a couple of months, or what is the duration?
Yeah, very good question. So the total duration of the course is 65 to 70 hours with 50 to 60 hours of assignments and 100 hours of case studies and projects. Okay. And coming to the course timings, we have weekdays, evenings as well as weekend batches. So weekday evenings, daily 2 to 2.5 hours, Monday to Friday, 12 hours per week. So the course is going to be completed in 8 weeks. 6 to 7 to 8 weeks. Okay, that is total duration. That is a normal track. Again, if you want to join fast track, so fast track batches also. Okay, but this batch is not a fast track. This is a normal track batch. Weekly will cover Monday to Friday, daily 2 to 2.5 hours. So 12 hours per week, and whatever the case studies and assignments you have to practice on weekends, and you have to come up with your questions in the next session, or you can post in the blog.
Okay. I understand this is a complete HANA course, but what if I'm looking for just a Delta course? Do you have anything running currently?
Very good question. If you are a BW consultant, so you don't have to attend this course, because if you look at our course content, this is not a complete Delta part of the course. So here we are covering HANA, BW, and the new features. So I don't recommend for BW consultants to go for this course. This course for non-BW consultants, and if someone is working in databases, they want to switch to BW, or someone is working in other data warehousing tools like in Cognos, Informatica, they want to switch for BW. For them, it's an appropriate course. But if you are already a BW consultant, or if you are trained in BW, then Delta. So we also conduct the Delta part, and timings we will inform you within 1 hour. I will talk to Aarti, and she will inform you what are the timings for the Delta course also, and we'll send you the course content for the Delta course as well. So in the Delta course, we'll learn up to what extent HANA we require. Then we'll see complete the new features of BW 7.3 starting from Service Pack 5 to with SAP HANA. All the new features. That is a Delta course. The Delta course is approximately for 25 to 30 hours, and the fee is also very less. Yeah, any other question, gentlemen? Akhilesh, Devi, Nizar, Vijay Kumar, Vikash. Yes, Vikash. Mr. Vikash, can you hear me? Hello, sir. You raised your hand.
Yeah. My question is, first of all, this content is 60 hours of around 35 hours of class, and then basically the project.
No, 65 to 70 hours. No, 1 minute, sir. Sorry to interrupt you. 65 to 70 hours, only the classroom hours, apart from our case study assignments, apart from project work hours.
Yeah, I understood that. So we have to pay. What would be the course timing if I'm taking the live class option?
Okay, the course timing is we are planning for 7:30 p.m. Central Time.
Okay. So around 5 o'clock in the morning in India.
Yeah, so we'll let you know what is the Indian timings, because I'm in Chicago. I will follow Central Time.
Yeah.
So we'll let you know what is the approximate correct Indian timings for this course. So right after this session, we'll send you one email. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Yeah. If I'm taking a live class,
Mm-hmm.
what and all materials will I get?
So we'll give all the materials. What are the material? HANA materials. Okay. HANA data provisioning material, HANA modeling, HANA reporting, plus BW and HANA material, custom material. So much of material we will give. So in the tomorrow's class, I will show you what type of material we will give.
Sorry to interrupt you. Normally, PPT is what we use in class.
Mm-hmm.
Do we have access to it also?
Yeah, not only access to those. As I said, you can download also those from the blog. You have an option of downloading the material also. So whatever the material you will be giving all this, you can not only you can access them. Okay, you can download the complete material also. Hello?
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, any other question, folks? Very good question. For video access training, will you be providing sandbox? Yes, we'll provide for video based training also we'll provide the sandbox. So see, this is a live training, this is a video based training. In live training, the instructor will come like this. Okay, we'll have daily 2 hours, 2.5 hour session. Okay, Monday to Friday. If it is weekend, Saturday, Sunday, 5 hours or 6 hours. Then interaction with the trainer live, daily or weekly. If it is weekend batch, Saturday and Sunday, 5 to 6 hours. Here weekly once to clarify your doubts. Meantime, you can post in the blog also. So you'll get the complete training blog access here and here. Okay, ask the questions. Okay, using the blog, yes, you can post the assignments. In video training also we have that option. Assignments and case studies, yes. Okay, watch videos and past sessions, complete, pre-recorded. So access to the repository of materials, yes, using the Google Drive. 24/7 access to the virtual lab, means sandboxes for 3 months. For here also you are available. Access to the POC projects, implemented projects, you are also available. This is the difference between live training and video based training. So in video based training also you will get 24/7 access to for 3 months. Later on, if you want to extend, you can extend. Any other questions, folks? Yes, Vijay Kumar. Go ahead, sir. I unmuted you.
Is BI also expected when they apply for a job?
Pardon?
BI.
BA?
BI.
Yeah. So here we'll cover the BEX reporting tools, as well as we'll show you the complete integration with SAP BOBI. So okay. In the jobs, okay, whenever the BW is running on top of SAP HANA, so the client will expect to work in BEX reporting tools. So you see here I was showing some BW jobs, right? So BEX, and if you know the integration with BO also, it's well and good. So we'll give material for BO and you have the system access. So if you want to explore from your side, I will be showing some scenarios, integration scenarios. So if you want to explore more on reporting side using BOBA, well, you can explore because you have the system access, you have the material, okay? But you want to learn complete BOBI 4.1 exclusively with SAP HANA, that's a different course altogether. That is also 60 hours course covering all new BOBA 4.0 and 4. Reporting tools in detail, web intelligence, okay, information design tool, dashboard design 4.0, all this with SAP HANA. So that is a different course.
But in the job requirement, won't they expect all those to apply for a job?
Yeah, in job requirements, some clients, okay, if they require only the BEX reporting, they will expect the BEX reporting tools. And in some job requirements, if they are using business objects, obviously they will expect the BO skills also.
Okay. And
so
does it require, or do we need to know the object or database structures of the tables?
Yeah, this course you require basic knowledge of database, okay, primary keys in the database tables, foreign keys, okay, cardinalities, all these basic concepts are required.
No, that I understood. Yeah, you mentioned in the requirement, sorry, I didn't phrase the question properly. About the SAP tables.
Yeah, okay, what type of SAP tables from each application module we are going to cover, we'll be covering in this course.
Okay, but in general in the job, is it expected or is it goes into the functional side of it?
Well, if you know it's well and good. If you need some more details, okay, if you don't have much idea in the project, the functional consultants are available. You can consult with them to get the information about the tables and all. So in every project, okay, we have the functional consultant to assist you for BI consultants or for BW consultant. If you require the database information or tables information, okay, you can approach them for more information. That's not a big deal.
Okay, but in your training, you'll be taking a specific table and
yeah, in training, so what are the commonly used tables? We'll deal with all the tables.
Okay.
SD tables, MM tables, FI tables, controlling tables, COBA tables, all these tables we'll see.
Okay, sure.
Okay. Yeah, any other questions, folks? Well, go ahead with your questions. If you guys have any, okay, any questions before winding up the session. So I already given the blog access to everyone. I send it in the GoToMeeting. Tomorrow also you can attend the session. Free, you don't have, okay. Day after tomorrow also. Later on you can decide. So click this blog. In this blog, okay, go to the webinar links. Okay, the link for tomorrow and day after tomorrow is already available. Yeah, thank you very much everyone for attending this session. I appreciate everyone's time. Have a good night, folks.